pretty awesome. Our shop is 5 minutes away from Grandfather Mountain. You literally walk down those stairs and see one of the coolest mountains on the East Coast. The fishing around here is pretty diverse. We have all 3 species of trout. Rainbow, brown, and we have our native brook trout, southern Appalachian brook trout. Another native species we got here and that we tried for but didn't really communicate or didn't really cooperate was a smallmouth bass. We have a great fishery around here within an hour and a half of the shop.
Starting this past November, Patrick was gracious enough to say, "Hey, let's start letting y'all offer wade trips out of the shop."
Normally, when we book a trip, we ask what they want to get out of it. Hey, I just want to catch fish, and we ask them, would you prefer a wild or a stocked?
I would be lying to you if I tell you I wasn't super nervous when I started. I mean, getting paid money to go fishing, it's absurd.
Seriously, if somebody comes in here in the shop like, hey, what should I tie right now? And they want to learn how to tie, an elk-haired caddis, like what we're using today. We would literally sit down and be like, all right, we got a vise, we got some materials, I'll show you right now. But yeah, it's a gorgeous place. We're truly blessed that we live and work here, and the fish along with it, it's like a little ribbon on top.
You know what? Stop touching things. I was gonna apologize for how bad my feet smell, but you guys made me stand in wading boots all day, so you reap what you sow.
I think Tanner stinked it up enough today.
Yeah,
he was just left and right, just not going well.
It was all ploy, truthfully.
All right, guys, welcome to another episode of the Skiff Wanderer Podcast. This is going to be part of the Lost in Wandering series. So I have my co-host, Peter Jordan, with me. If you guys haven't had a chance to learn about who Peter Jordan is, then listen to the podcast I did with him. And they'll explain it all right there. It's pretty simple. So this is... Oh, wait, no, that's not what I was going to say. We're in Banner Elk at 828, and we are here with Tripp and Tanner, who have last names that you guys can introduce yourself and say, because I'm not trying it. Not on air.
Okay. Not for him.
Yeah, Schmidt, I got.
Yeah. Good old Dutch name.
Yeah.
You're almost there.
Nazziola.
Nazziola.
That was my third guess.
It was my 5th, if I'm honest. I'd have kept on struggling with it. We'd have got somewhere eventually.
Yep.
So we just spent the day on the water with these guys, and it's going to be on the YouTube, so you guys go make sure you check that out, learn a little bit more, get to see everything that we're going to talk about in this podcast, see the shop, see the area that these guys are fishing in, some of the species that they're targeting. But so we'll start it off with where'd you guys grow up and how did you start fishing?
Yeah, so I grew up just down the hour and a half down the mountain.
That's Tanner speaking.
My name is Tanner Schmidt. Yeah, I'm the manager here at 828 Flies. I grew up just down the mountain in Mooresville, North Carolina, off of Lake Norman, fishing for bluegill and bass and catfish and all those other warm water species. I really got into trout fishing when I was probably in 8th grade and probably did a lot more than a normal boy should.
So what happened today then?
So that my 7th grade self came out before I clearly, but yeah, no, I've really had an infatuation with cold water species because I haven't had much experience with it before then, and I loved it ever since, and really started to pick up when I was 16 and got a driver's license and got a job that had enough money to pay for gas to get up here. One of my best friends had a family cabin, so we'd come up here all the time. It's literally 15 minutes down the road from the shop right now. But yeah, I guided a little bit right after high school, and then eventually I got a ticket out west. Went to guide school out there.
Don't touch that.
Okay. Sorry, I'm fidgeting now. No, but I went to guide school out in Montana when I was 19 and got hired at a lodge out of there. And fishing for bull trout and cutthroat was a pretty surreal experience at 19 years old. I mean, it was awesome. We're in God's country, and everything was just crystal clear and just out of like a postcard. But truthfully, that was fun. It was great. But every time at the end of the summer, I'd always be like, I cannot wait to get back to the Southern Appalachia. Like, this is home. I miss humidity. I'm lathering myself in lotion out there. I miss that. But yeah, I mean, Montana was great. Was out there for 2 years and got a lot of experience. Met a lot of awesome folks and kind of honed in my guiding skills. Didn't really show that today. I was more the comedic relief today, but that's all right. Tripp was more of the fishy guy today. But yeah, I met a lot of good folks, a lot of awesome experiences, and that's kind of what helped me land this job. I was using this shop to stock up for Montana and use the shop when I was guiding when I was back home. So yeah, and just kind of fell into this position, and I don't regret anything I've ever done, man. I love what I do, and fishing is all I think about 24/7. I can't get over it. But yeah, that's a little bit of me, Tanner Schmidt.
Signing off.
All right, what about you, Tripp?
All right, I'm Tripp Nazziola, as Peter likes to call me. I started fly fishing probably, I would say maybe about midway through high school.
He's never corrected me, and I've been saying that for over a year now.
I'm going to take that microphone away from you next.
But I grew up in High Point, North Carolina, so same deal, kind of hour and a half, hour 45 away from here. And growing up, it was kind of just hopping farm ponds for bass, for largemouth, bluegill. Then as soon as the sun went down, started catfishing. And did that kind of throughout middle school, high school, and had a couple buddies that were a little older than me that went up here to Appalachian State a few years before me while I was still in high school. So during the summer, I would drive up here weekends and started fly fishing with some of them. I did not know what in the world I was doing. I was just kind of tagging along, watching what they were doing. And I'm a senior now at Appalachian State. Freshman year, I got up here, fished pretty much the entire first year. I mean, it's a miracle. I definitely didn't flunk out of classes. A lot of that was due to my girlfriend. She kept me in good graces with God. And we just a couple of buddies we had, we fished all freshman year up here. That's literally what we did every day after class. And Appalachian State used to have a pretty big fly fishing club. And sophomore year rolled around and we kind of wanted to join that fly fishing club because that's what all the guides around here were in back in the day. And found out that it was no longer an option. Like, the club had died out, COVID had killed it. We couldn't find any information about it. So went to the school, and big shout out to our advisors. Went through the whole process, kind of rechartering that club at App State. And from 2 years ago to now, we've grown to 110 members. So it's grown pretty big. To see 110 like-minded people getting together that are all 18 to kind of 22 years old range, it's incredible. And whenever we brought back the club, we started working with all the fly shops up here. And 828 Flies was one of the shops. And we kind of always, with the club, we strive to do an event with every single fly shop every semester so that kids could kind of have a non-biased view to kind of go to whatever fly shop they want, know who they want at those fly shops. And we always did fly tying at 828 because of literally this table that we're sitting at right now. We've had dozens of fly tying nights here of just college age kids having a good time, as well as some locals that come in and have a really good time. That kind of process of working with all the shops is eventually what led me to 828. I mean, I got to kind of, not say test the waters, but I got to know the staffs at all the shops. And 828 was a newer shop. I mean, they were open for a couple months whenever I came in here and talked to our old manager and said, hey, you want to do something with the Fly Fishing Club? And he was like, dude, hell yeah, of course I want to do something with the Fly Fishing Club. Next thing you know, we're having 40, 50 college-age kids in here tying flies that have never tied flies before. So this table has seen thousands and thousands of flies.
Some good, some bad.
Some good, definitely some bad, and you can see some examples of them up there in the hanging from the trees. But started working here a little over a year ago now. So our other manager, he took off, and it was just me, and then Tanner came along, and then brought a couple other guys on board, and I can 100% confidently say that I think we have one of the most awesome staffs up here. Like, between the experience and just you guys got to experience it today, how kind of loose we are on the water. We're not super strict. If we miss a fish, we're not going to chuck a rod or get upset. It's pretty...
Well, maybe today might change.
But, I mean, I couldn't ask for a better group of guys to share this shop with, and it's truly incredible. And to be able to carry a lot of the brands like we do, this shop's kind of special. You got guys that are all 21 years old, minus Graham, the youngin.
Young kid.
But to entrust that kind of, trust to a group of 21-year-olds to run a big fly shop like that,
absolutely.
That's a lot of weight for sure to have.
I've spoke with Jim about that, and I've had a lot of questions.
Yeah.
And then he's just like, well, I mean, they're just good guys, and after being around you guys as many times as I have, I'd have to just absolutely agree. Y'all are a good group. You're sharing a journey together, and y'all are building a really, really cool community here, and y'all are building an extremely fun fly shop. That one of my favorite things, and I told Pete as we were coming up here, I said, man, 828, that little store is happening. And it's kind of what I see as, what I hope is an example of like the future of fly fishing in this, and not, just in the area. But
I think that's exactly right. One thing that Nick kind of recently said, and I couldn't agree more with it. You get the same vibe here as you will down in 239.
Which for those of you guys listening that don't know, so 239 in Bonita Springs, Florida, is y'all's sister shop.
Mm-hmm.
Do you call it sister shop or mother shop?
We call it kind of sister.
Sister, yeah.
But
they're not as big as a brother anymore.
We're coming for them.
Yeah.
But Nick was kind of having this conversation, talking about the, preconceived notions of a traditional fly shop. You go in there, you got the old white dude behind the counter that Nick described it perfectly as you're interrupting somebody's dinner. You kind of like, what are you doing in here? Kind of didn't really want to talk to you that much, and that's intimidating for young guys like us. I mean, when I went to fly shops, there was definitely some fly shops that I didn't really get spoken to, or I was kind of intimidated to talk to people in there. And that's what's so cool about this shop is it doesn't matter if you're Tom Rosenbauer himself walking in the door or somebody that's just picking up a fly rod for the first time. You're going to be greeted the exact same. Hey, how's it going? What can we help you with? And I think that's invaluable for a fly shop to kind of, if we could kind of build that into a tradition that other fly shops pick up, I think that would be awesome. Because there was a lot of talk about obviously kind of like another shop opening up in a small town, but I think competition kind of raises other shops and kind of builds morale among other shops. And I love the other shops up here. I still hang out with Tanner, hangs out with a lot of the other guides from the other shops. But I think this shop's really cool because every time you come in, whether it's Tanner, me, Graham, Ricky, George, whoever's behind the counter, you're going to get the same experience.
Absolutely. And I think having a welcoming environment, especially in fly fishing, like Tripp said, it's extremely, unnerving to walk into something that's so, uptight and, seemed like a snotty sport to begin with. And it's tough, especially as a young kid or just a brand new person, But I think what kind of sets us apart is, we've all been there. None of us grew up fly fishing, We all grew up chucking worms and bobbers for bluegill.
Speak for yourself.
No, but I mean, we get it. Fly fishing is new. It's exciting. A lot of people are starting to get into it. And not everyone has that background of just knowing everything right off the bat, And that's what we're here to do. I'll definitely, a fly shop is meant to outfit you to go catch fish. And some fly shops I feel like have kind of lost that way of spot burning and whatnot. But and people got secret flies, but man, I ain't got a secret fly in that box. I'll tell anybody exactly what I'm catching them on. I'll tell them, what kind of water they need to be in, and I'll give them some spots, And the best thing, truthfully, the most rewarding thing is I'll get an email after their day, and they got pictures of big trout, and they're smiling. That's what I look forward to in the mornings, Whether I'm fishing or not or guiding or not, I like seeing other people catch fish, I mean, that's why I'm in it. If I just wanted to fish for myself, I wouldn't be doing this, I mean, I would go find another job like a little remote computer job. That'll probably be better for me. But no, man, I love what I do. I love seeing the people that walk in this door, and man, I seriously love the community we've built around this shop.
Yeah, and we got to see a little bit of the community last night. I mean, we were just hanging out in the back, and one of your neighbors came over, saw we were all out there, and he came over to hang out too. And it's and I think Peter can agree, but like the fly shop, like the amount of fly shops that we both visited, the ones that you go into and you just feel like it's something. Peter introduced me to this idea of everyone needs a third place. So you've got your home and you've got your job, and you need that third place to socialize with people. And my favorite fly shops are the ones where I walk in and I've just driven 20 hours and I feel like I just walked into my house. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm seeing my buddies. And even if I've never been in there before, you walk in and you just feel like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you came in last night. We've never met before then. And then we were out night fishing, messing around in the middle of the woods 2 hours later, So, yeah, I mean, I totally agree. But sorry to interrupt. I just had
well, speaking of fishing, let's talk about it. Let's talk about no, we're not going to talk about the general fishing, but we'll take a quick break, and then what we'll do is tell us about the fishing in the area. So, like when people are coming here, what can they be excited about? What are they going to do? And now we'd like to thank our sponsors. Today we'd like to thank our FR Coffee, Chicken Nuggets. Dude, just pause it. We're good. I was just messing.
Chicken nuggets.
Yeah,
I've got no chicken nuggets. Yeah, drink RFR coffee.
Yeah.
So RFR is Real Fishing Roasters. It's a coffee company that I work with. But anyways, fishing.
Yeah. That's what we're here for. I mean, the fishing around here is pretty diverse. We have all three species of trout. Rainbow, brown, and we have our native brook trout, Southern Appalachia brook trout. And what we caught today, we caught like the trophy specimen. I mean, absolutely insane fish.
Beautiful trout.
That was a gorgeous fish.
Yeah.
There's no getting around it.
I mean, that was a Christmas ornament. I mean, it was awesome.
It was definitely the highlight of my day, seeing that
Yeah.
thing. And where it was at and learning so much about it.
And not only that, but being able to do it, like you said, in their native range.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's something. I mean, we got to come back and catch them ourselves.
Yeah.
But that's on my high on my list of things that I want to do.
I mean, those guys are mini dinosaurs. I mean, their genealogy is gone way before we even got here. Those fish are awesome to catch. Especially you can go out to Colorado and whatnot and catch absolute tanks, but they're not native. They're just like our rainbows and browns. They're wild, but they're not native. Another native species we got here and that we tried for but didn't really communicate or didn't really cooperate was with a smallmouth bass. We have a great fishery around here within an hour and a half of the shop. You can hit several different streams, and they're a lot of fun. And when you get in the thick of them,
I'm gonna lose sleep over that one cruise by just teasing me.
Yeah, and the cool thing about smallmouth is, they're so temperamental, and that's what keeps you coming back for them. Some days you get them figured out, some days you don't. And, man, when the days you don't, you can't get over it. I mean, it's like addicting. That's the same with all the fishing around here. But we have tailwaters, we have freestones.
Is there a better time of year to come for the fishing?
So normally I'd like to say the better times are in like the mid-spring and like the mid-fall.
What is mid-spring, mid-fall for
mid-spring,
you guys?
mid-fall?
Because for us on the coast.
That's true.
Yeah, so I'd say mid-spring is kind of like, late March into early May, or probably mid-May, truthfully. That would probably be mid-spring for us. And then mid-fall, probably first week or two of October into, late November. That's a really good time.
But you can fish year-round.
Yes, you can definitely fish year-round. Truthfully, I catch my bigger fish in the dead of winter just because there's not much pressure. Now, you're going to have long, hard days, but you catch – I mean, we have no close season on trout fishing-wise. And we can, fish all year round for pretty much everything, really.
One kind of side note is a lot of our streams are designated up here. So today we fished either unmarked streams that aren't designated or wild streams. But one kind of closed season we have is hatchery supported in the month of March. They'll close it down. So if you see a green and white sign, a diamond like that nailed to a tree that says hatchery supported, the month of March you're going to want to stay kind of off those waters. So state are stocking those waters and trying to get those fish actually acclimated and have a fighting chance. Also kind of going off what Tanner's saying is today obviously we did a lot of wild fishing, kind of small stream, blue line stuff, but the state of North Carolina does stock streams up here starting in October. They'll stock throughout the fall, take a break. I believe it's December, January. They start back February.
In December, they start their spring stock in March.
So yeah, they pick back up in March, which is a great opportunity for kind of beginner anglers that are looking out there or looking to get on their first trout.
Now, is this like, so let's say Pete and I came in,
Mm-hmm.
and we didn't have the advantage of knowing you guys. I mean, what are we looking at as far as how much availability do you guys have of water? Like, is most of it private water, public water?
Yes.
Like,
So
what can we expect if we're coming in?
So if you come in looking for a fishing spot, and if you've never really trout fished or haven't got to know the area, I'll ask you, if you wanted, would you rather fish for stocked or wild? And most beginners are like, I just want to catch fish, and we'll normally steer them towards stock stream because it's a little bit easier, and there's a lot of fish in that system after they've been stocked. And say like you guys would ask like, hey, I want to go catch like a nice big brown. I'll probably put you on a bigger wild stream because those fish can grow and they have a little bit better gene pools to grow up in that system.
And they can come here to you guys and talk about things like, hey, where do we access the river at? What are good places? So that they know they're not getting in trouble. They're going to be able to enjoy it. And you guys can walk them through that whole process. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, the best thing for you if you're unsure, call a local fly shop, go to a local fly shop, or call the game warden because trespassing around here is not looked kindly on, But we'll help you out with anything. There's several apps and maps online that you can check out, even if, we're not sure about a certain stream, but most of the time we know the rules and regulations of where you can and cannot fish most of the time.
And a lot of your delayed harvest streams, which are your stocked kind of throughout fall and picks back up in spring, most of the time they stock in a very easy place to wade and access. So there's kind of
So they got to get the truck up there.
Yeah. They got to get number one. They got to get the truck to the river.
Right.
Like Valley Cruises Community Park, we drove by it today. That's like one of the first place everybody goes to fly fish. I go down there all the time whenever they stock. 'Cause they stock thousands of fish in there. It's super easy to access into that river, and you also have no fear of trespassing. That is a community park that you can go in and know that you're not gonna get a 30-06 sent your way. As well as there's parks all around here. There's some out in kind of the Todd area over there towards kind of West Jefferson. You can get up closer to Virginia. There's some other parks that are delayed harvest as well that are completely public.
West Jefferson, that's a special place in the world.
It is. West Jefferson's pretty nice.
Now, let's say I come in and I don't feel like doing any legwork. I just want to catch fish.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have a guide service here, right?
Yes, sir. So probably in about November, we partnered up with the South Holston River Company. They are one of the biggest guide services on the other side of the mountain over in Tennessee. Predominantly are guiding the Watauga and South Holston rivers over there. They're an Orvis endorsed guide service, and when we opened this shop,
said the word.
Peter just physically cringed a little bit. But when we opened the shop, we were partnered kind of.
Y'all can do better, guys. Just call me.
When is Winston going to come out with their preferred guide service badge?
Good question. That's actually That's a good question.
You can't be mad about it if you're not doing it.
No, I mean,
He's got a point there.
we do it differently. Orvis is 800,000. Don't touch that. 800,000 times bigger
Yeah.
than
Oh,
Winston.
yeah.
That's for sure. But I will say this: at Winston, we definitely take extremely good care of our guides.
Yeah.
We look out for you guys, and same thing with TFO. Like, we really want you guys to have all the support in the universe you need, which is why most of the guides all have my cell phone number. You know, that's kind of, so it's a little bit different. We're way smaller. So the answer is, you know, we would love to, but we'll do our best to support you. But point is, I could love you like that.
But kind of the whole Orvis endorsement, it's more of an accomplishment for a guide service to get that endorsement. It's a really big deal, and Patrick Fulcrot, the guy that's the head of the South Holston River Company, won Orvis Guide of the Year a couple years back. So I mean,
a couple times too.
Yeah, he's a serious guide. He's a highly respected guide. So to be able to work under him is truly a blessing. And so originally we kind of just started by sending trips. If somebody were to come in here and said, yeah, we can send you over there to the tailwaters and you can do a float on the Watauga or South Holston. And starting this past November, Patrick was gracious enough to say, hey, let's start letting y'all offer wade trips out of the shop. Because that's important to a shop, is to have credibility to walk into a shop and speak to an actual guide that's out on the water X amount of days a year, whatever that may look like for you.
Yeah.
But so in November we started doing wade trips out of the shop, and they've started to pick up a lot recently. It's been an absolute blast. Like I would be lying to you if I tell you I wasn't super nervous when I started. I mean, getting paid money to go fishing, it's absurd. I mean, especially at 21 years old, most of the time you're guiding people that are twice to three times, maybe even four times your age. I mean, it can be intimidating, but
I really wish they wouldn't talk about us.
I know.
Yeah, well, that was directed at you guys.
No, I'm fully aware.
Tanner,
Those brookie streams are rough on you.
Yeah, Tanner did ask Pete how old he was earlier.
I did. He started naming movies I'd never even heard of. And they got offended, like we supposed to know some of that
I'm
stuff.
not gonna lie, dude. Those guys were hustling up that hill, and I'm like, boys, I'll get there when I get there. I ain't gonna lie to you.
They're still springy.
But yeah, we our guide service has been picking up a lot recently, and it's truly incredible. You have the night before, you have the jitters, you're nervous trying to get the rods rigged up and ready, and you don't know what's coming the next day. And then first fish they hook into, you're like, this was worth it.
Yeah.
You see the joy on their face.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
Yesterday we had a 8-guy trip. So it's just a bunch of dudes getting together for their annual trip to the mountains, and logistically it was a nightmare. Taking 8 people out onto rivers, it's
around here we don't have too big of rivers to hold all 8 people on a wade trip, so we got to split them up a little bit. But yeah, it was rough, but everyone had fun. You know, everyone was out in Appalachia and just having a grand old time in the mountains.
I tell you, this is something Pete and I were talking about. Just how beautiful this area is.
Oh yeah.
I told Pete, I said, I'm gonna get myself killed out here.
Yeah.
Because one minute I'm on the road looking at the scenery, next minute I'm gonna be in the scenery looking at the road. Because
that's exactly right.
When we rode with Tripp and Tanner Day, I looked over at Pete. I'm just like a little kid looking out the window, and I'm like, I've never got to be up here when I didn't have to be just holding on for dear life going down a hill.
Yeah, I mean, this area is pretty awesome. Our shop is 5 minutes away from Grandfather Mountain. You literally walk down those stairs and see one of the coolest mountains on the East Coast, truthfully, in the world. It is one of the oldest mountains in the world, too. But yeah, it's a gorgeous place. We're truly blessed that we live and work here, and the fish along with it. It's like a little ribbon on top. You know?
I mean, yeah, there's many days where we're outside casting a rod and we're like, wow, this is such a pretty place to have a fly shop.
We're so lucky.
Kind of speaking on the shop, one thing that was super cool whenever we purchased this place, it used to be kind of like a Jamaican woodworking / brunch / whatever else.
Whatever they were getting into that month.
And, a lot of people come in this shop and they're like, wow, like this is pretty cool looking shop. Like, I've not seen a fly shop looks like this. And
I do love the vibe of the whole shop.
Yeah.
It looks gorgeous.
It's got a really cool vibe, and what's awesome is we kept the vibe from the old store. So pretty much the only thing we did was strip most of the wood down to kind of bare wood, and we put up some track lighting. But besides that, like all these branches that we've now put some of our most decorated flies up in, that was all here before us. Like really the only thing we did was run the track lighting, and a lot of the furniture and stuff you see that is housed in some of our inventory was actually from the previous woodworker.
So is that why the Muzak here is always stuck on reggae?
Maybe. No, I mean it's a pretty cool place. Like he just all of our furniture and whatnot was here before, and they did pretty good work. So we definitely utilized a lot of that. Everyone says it smells so good because it's covered in cedar and whatever else wood that's stuck in here. But yeah, it's a pretty awesome shop. I believe everyone should check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What so if I was gonna come do a guide trip with you guys, like what do I need to have with me?
So essentially, pretty much clothes on your back. That's all, and a North Carolina fishing license.
That's an adventure.
That is an adventure.
As y'all found out,
we
also
might have added a little bit challenge to that process.
Y'all kept hitting
a couple
okay
tumblers and donations.
Let me tell you,
it doesn't help when we're driving through the mountains.
Does it help and
losing reception
at Mach 6?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The night before didn't help either.
I'm here to tell you.
We were just to preface, we were supposed to meet at 7:30. We got on the water, I believe, at like 1.
I texted Peter at 7. That was Ricky. Texted Peter at 7:28 this morning, and
I texted you.
He texted me at 7:28, and he said, "I'll be out about 8:30." I said, "Peter, I'm parked outside your tent."
So good for you.
I pulled in the driveway, and I could see Pete's knocked out cold in the roof. Did you just see the sunlight coming in through the rooftop?
And he was
tent?
sleeping so peacefully.
It was a great sleep.
It was good. It's nice and chilly last night.
Yeah.
I'm not 24 anymore.
We kind of get back to what you're saying.
Yeah.
Really, you don't have to.
Went off on a little tangent. We'll get to that a little bit later.
Yeah. Really, that's a very common question. If people are like, "Oh, do I need to bring rods, waders, whatever?" Just the clothes you want to wear that day. We outfit you with your own waders, boots, rods, reel, fly line, flies, everything you need to get out and have a successful day on the water. We provide. Obviously, you're more than welcome to bring your own gear if you'd say, "Hey, I just got this new fly rod. I really kind of want to learn how to use this or how to put it together." You're more than welcome to bring it, 100%. But besides that, really the only thing you need is your North Carolina inland fishing license and
maybe a pair of sunglasses.
That too.
And watch out for flies.
Do you guys have a so like Peter over here, he likes to tie all his own flies and he likes to catch fish on his own flies. Do you guys have a list that you'll send somebody that has like these are the flies that we recommend?
Yeah, I mean,
if you want to tie,
we sent it. We texted you separately. But yeah, I've had a couple people, especially from out of state. You know, like what flies should I tie? I'll send them a couple flies, and if they need to know like the materials and whatnot, we have pre-made kits readily available on our website, and we send it to you in mail. Or seriously, if somebody comes in here in the shop like, "Hey, what should I tie right now?" and they want to learn how to tie like, you know, an elk-haired caddis, like what we're using today, we would literally sit down and be like, "All right, I mean, we got a vise, we got some materials, I'll show you right now." I mean, it's completely free. It's just, you know, we're helping out folks, you know, trying to learn.
It goes back, if they have a successful day, that's awesome. That's what you want.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kind of what Tanner was just touching on a little bit. We kind of call it like our open table policy. So this table is normally covered with all sorts of materials and vices, and it's always an open table. If you come in here and you want to sit down and tie, grab any vice you want. I had he was probably 9 or 10-year-old come in the other day, and he's like, "Mom, I want to tie a fly," and the mom's like, "No, you can't." I was like, "No, go ahead. Let me grab you some tools. Sit down and tie a fly."
Yeah.
He thought it was the coolest thing ever to be able to sit down in a fly shop and tie his own fly.
It's extremely rewarding too. Like for us, like I love teaching folks how to tie flies. I mean, that's why our tying nights are completely free. It's open to everybody, anybody, no matter the age. We don't have a cap limit. You know, you'll see 40, like during the fall and spring, we'll have probably 30 to 40 people in here, and somebody will finish a fly and we'll just pass around the vise because we won't have enough, and it's just a big party of friends hanging out and tying. I mean, it's
Have you guys convinced Nick to do the tutorials like he did down at 239?
I don't think he knows how to tie hooks this small.
It's funny I think you were at this fly tying night.
Somebody may have called you guys and asked when you guys were going to start doing them here at the store.
That's how I learned how to tie.
Yeah.
Was those videos.
Oh, yeah.
And like the way that he did those videos, like it's they've got the list of the materials. If you don't have the materials, you can jump on their website.
Absolutely.
It's all right there.
Yeah, and we've been working on getting videos like that.
Yeah.
But we are not technically sound like you, so we're still working on.
As you can tell by Tanner beating the mic over
Yeah.
here.
I'm not used to this enough professionalism going on, but no, we're working on it for sure. Tripp's a lot better than me.
Actually, no. One of the questions I had with the guided trips is so like we spent today, we were fishing for wild fish all day.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something we could do as a guided trip? Like if I called you, like do you guys have a game plan? Do you work with the clients?
Absolutely. Normally when we book a trip, we ask what they want to get out of it. If they're like, hey, I just want to catch fish, and we ask them, would you prefer a wild or a stocked? And most of the time people don't really care, but every now and then we'll have folks who'll be like, yeah, I fished the park, I've done all the stock stuff. I want to really dial in our wild fish, and we can definitely do that. And if they want to go after a specific fish, like if they wanted to go just for brook trout, we definitely provide that. We provide full and half days, so it's all up to you.
And a lot of that conversation starts in the shop. Last week I had a trip that a guy specifically just wanted to go brook trout fishing, what we did this morning. And that interest started from he came in the shop and just talked to me. He's like, well, what do you like to do? And I said, well, I enjoy kind of brook trout fishing, the blue line stuff, the tricky stuff, kind of the putt-putt of fly fishing. And it got a text a week later. He's like, man, now I want to go catch my first brook trout. And his first brook trout was probably just about as big as the one we caught today. So after that, he was hooked, and he still texts me. He wants to get into like Tenkara for brook trout fishing. And,
we'll see if that's fly fishing. We'll let y'all decide.
But we definitely dedicate specifically to what the client wants. Sometimes people just want to focus on a little bit of casting, maybe an hour of casting, or some people are really into one thing. Like I had a trip the other week, and same thing I was doing today, flipped over a rock, and we were looking at stoneflies.
It's true. Tanner took the time to go through. Tanner and Tripp both took the time to go through and help Pete and I, saltwater refugees that we are, turn over rocks. Yeah. And what is that? What is that? And it was so fun. And this is another thing, guys. We went to 4 different rivers and creeks, and they could not have been more different.
Absolutely.
Each one was absolutely gorgeous. Yeah. Each one was so cool. I gotta say, I mean, I would really have trouble picking a favorite. They were all just amazing. I mean, so it's super cool. It was great. And you guys can check out the video and see it yourself. And it was a sick experience. And it really, I think, showed off just how well these guys, even though they're younger dudes, they have definitely put in the time and the hours to know this area in a very in-depth way.
We didn't get lost once.
Yeah. I mean, the diversity.
Following them.
the diversity in this area with water is truly special. Like no river or creek is the same. And especially like the biomass in those streams. You turn over a rock, thinking there's nothing under it, but you see, 20 bugs just under there, and every rock is very similar to that one.
Yeah.
But none of the bugs are the exact same color or the exact same size in any stream around here.
That's true.
We saw there's so many different kinds of bugs in those waters, and those are the trout's food. It's pretty cool to see.
Also, kind of one thing to note that obviously, like saltwater, y'all deal with kind of your different seasons. Your water's going to be a whole lot different. Right now, like you saw today, if we put the thermometer in the water and it read 66, we're like, ooh, it's getting
warm.
up there.
Yeah.
really taking the time and kind of fishing through every season we have up here. I mean, winter, there's sometimes it gets negative 22 with wind chill outside. I mean, it's that cold. And then sometimes in the summertime, the water's 69 degrees and it's dangerous for trout. So kind of taking the time and like going to a shop and asking like, hey, right now, where should I go?
Yeah.
Because like if we were to fish some of these streams we fished today in the dead of winter, it could have been completely different. Yeah. We could have seen completely different bugs under the rocks. The fish would have been sitting in different places, like we talked about a little earlier. You're kind of like, where's the trout going to be sitting in this? And I said, right now they're going to be sitting kind of in what we call the head of the stream, or right where that water's kind of dumping in, the white water.
Rating it up.
They're looking for that oxygen, that cold water, and then as well as what I was talking to Peter about, kind of we say where slow meets go, where that riffle comes down. The slack water that meets that riffle, that's where trout, especially right now, really like to hang out. Kind of what I like to talk about on a guide trip is imagine you have a treadmill with a bunch of cheeseburgers coming down it. Do you want to stand on the treadmill and eat the cheeseburgers, or do you want to stand beside the treadmill and grab the cheeseburgers as they come by? It's a clear answer. So the trout kind of follow that same motto.
Never heard that before. That's pretty good.
But I like that.
But what if I'm on the treadmill? Does that mean that
you get more cheeseburgers?
I think you meant like put your mouth like right up against it.
Well, that would be the way to go.
Sometimes they are.
I could burn some calories and eat more cheeseburgers.
There you go.
But yeah, I mean, sometimes they are right in the middle of the run. You just know. I mean, Tanner casted one right pretty much in the middle of the top of the run, and like 13-inch brown trout came up and ate it.
Yeah, broke that. Yeah.
How'd that go for you?
That wasn't Tanner's fault. He wasn't using quality equipment.
Yeah, I was using
Shot
some
fired.
subpar tippet.
We got him squared away.
Yeah.
He's good now.
Yeah,
But
He knows a guy.
yeah, I know a guy. Yeah,
it was really cool. So it was funny. I was texting one of our mutual friends last night. I was trying to get him up here, and Ace, you really need to get up here. And he was
seriously.
like, and he's like, man, I don't want to go up there and catch little trout. And it's one of the things, like I've said in any of my trout videos, is trout take you to the coolest places.
Absolutely, they don't live in ugly places.
They don't live in ugly places, and especially like once, like you guys explained to us, like the wild versus stock, and that we were gonna catch a slam, and we were gonna go after wild fish the whole time. Like even I didn't care how big they were. Like knowing like these fish are thriving and surviving on their own, and we're in these cool little creeks and rivers and streams,
absolutely
chasing them. Like,
and another thing people kind of don't realize is the skill involved with small streams. It's not easy at all.
Yeah.
no, it's combat fishing.
Yeah, y'all saw
it. Like Tanner and I both threw flies into the trees today. I mean, that's just how it is. And like,
and Tanner ended up in a tree.
And out.
The tree, the tree came with Tanner.
Yeah,
but
I took it with me.
I mean, some of these casts required to actually get the fly where it needs to be. It's laser precision, and that's the type of stuff that I love fishing these wild streams. Is because
Jim's tightening up on the fly inventory around here.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
You're gonna get that thing. You understand?
He works in a fly shop and he's climbing.
I don't know what Jim told him, but I'm scared too.
Hey, it's all right. But yeah, and these tight streams like around here, truthfully, are super special just to this area, because if you go out in Montana, you can find some tight stuff, but you're not finding stuff like this. This is like micro tarpon fishing in the mangroves, but high elevation. We're bow and arrow casting, we're stepping under trees, over rocks. I mean, I climbed a tree today, so like. I mean, it's
so excited about that, isn't he?
Yeah,
dude, I'm just glad we got it on film.
Yeah,
I wish I would have got a picture of Pete getting this one shot of this brook trout hole in full army crawl up the rock.
Yeah,
You didn't get
barely.
that? Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That's why I didn't catch anything. I was distracted. I had this
absolute specimen on the camera.
Yeah, this
Tripp goes, look, if you army crawl up there, you'll stay low enough. I was like, all right, well, he said army crawl, so we're gonna army crawl.
Yeah, I was using Pete as like a rock to hide behind. But yeah,
Pete turns around and goes, "We're standing now?"
Yeah.
We were all standing up, and he was just still like straddling this rock.
I was afraid to get up the whole time. I was like, I don't want to ruin this. I look over, Tripp's standing above me. I was like, oh, we can stand up now.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna say like it was really cool in the adventure today to be able to learn so much about all the different bugs and like why you would pick a fly, what fly imitates that. And I definitely feel like there was a lot of funny. It was a blast. It was fun. A lot of shenanigans, but at the same time, I think Pete and I both ended up being more knowledgeable trout anglers. At the same time.
Sure.
I just really hope.
But I will say, and we're not going to go into this story at all. We're going to let you two tell the story. Not all bugs here are friendly.
No. No. We learned that.
Fake or real? They're not.
We may have all been attacked by the same angry bug.
Yeah.
So,
I've never been
Except
so
for
excited
Tanner.
to be hooked.
Tanner
in my
was
life.
busy missing fish.
Yeah. Well,
Never been so relieved to only be hooked.
Yeah. So yeah, we were on some sort of.
No, we're not going to talk about it.
Not even talk. It's on YouTube.
It's
so
going to be on the YouTubes.
that's a cliffhanger for you guys.
they got me again.
Got me again.
I'm about to set the hook on my back cast, dude.
Oh, you got me.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I've never been so excited to just be hooked.
I'm just
Whatever.
saying-
I just got hooked. That's it.
I'm just saying
Oh, thank
there's-
God.
There's swollen lips, ears,
Yeah,
chins,
my
egos.
surprised these headphones fit over my left ear, but
We'll let y'all figure that out.
yeah, you'll get to see me weave.
Did you record that?
Oh yeah.
Like when I didn't know that was happening.
Because I was filming you cast, so I just have the audio of "He got me again."
I just saw hat in the water. Everyone's running opposite directions.
no,
Peter
I didn't get the I did not get the initial attack on film.
Well, Peter punched himself in the face.
Everybody ran. I stood my ground.
He was going for the main enemy. I guess it was him. Yeah. That's why his lips swollen.
I saw this. Yeah, I got hit first. Saw the Skiff Wanderer hat get tomahawked. And
I just looked downstream. There's hooting and hollering.
I beeline downstream. I look up, Peter just
Just-
hooked right in the mouth.
Just like whoop.
Well, and since I didn't get on, I know we're not supposed to talk about it. Keep talking about it. So
It's just too funny.
it's too funny though. So he attacked my hat, right? So I pull my hat off, and he's sitting there, and
Tearing it up.
dude, he was just 1,000, like just stabbing the ever living crap out of my hat. And I'm like, man, Peter, look at this. And Peter takes it, and he's
Famous
looking
last
at
words.
it, and then he just takes his finger and just flicks it.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, well, hopefully he hit it hard enough to kill it.
I
Next
thought
thing,
I was gonna flick it into the water. It did not, boy. Let me tell you.
Thing got some propellers on
that
it.
thing hit the air brakes midair.
he said, "Oh, really?"
Man,
You hit me, I'm gonna hit you back.
I am
boy.
so glad I was upriver tangled in a mess of.
I don't know. I still don't know if that was just one Hornet or
That had
a
to be
dozen,
one.
because
I think he
I
hit,
tagged all three.
he
I
hit
thought-
a triple
it
kill.
took all
I
three of us.
thought
out.
we hit a nest, and then I was like, at first I thought we hit like a nest, and that's why I started running. And then I was like, no, that was just the same one. Got all three of us.
Yeah, I think he got me first. I think he got you in the
Yeah, he hit me.
I still looking at Peter's top lip and
Dude, that's flapping right now.
It's
Gone down.
It's gone down a lot.
We were. I mean,
I had trouble eating my chicken sandwich today. I was a little bit worried about it.
It was getting caught in this sand.
I was sitting there. I was like, oh God, I hope none of us are allergic to these things.
And yeah, after we settled down and got away from that one,
We're
I
not
guess
talking
since
about it. We're not talking about
Well,
it.
he told the first part, so I guess you got to fill in.
Yeah. Yeah.
They may not watch the video.
Yeah.
No, yeah. So that's the prelude to what happens to Peter in the video, and that's why we're all on high alert and running for the hills.
And all dying laughing at
Yeah,
it.
we're all on a line. Pete's right here filming. Tanner's right here casting. Pete's right here filming. Tripp is hiding behind Pete.
And you're standing in
and I'm
the
in the
casting
back
lane.
over there answering dealer questions like on my cell phone. And about that time, I feel a stab right in the side right on the glutamus maximus. Right. I was like, oh God, they're back.
and Peter was on the end of my line. For some reason, my line didn't break then, but
I think there might have been a little more colorful language involved.
Yeah.
With Peter's statement.
Oh, for sure. There
But
was.
as soon as Peter said,
Oh God, they're back.
They're back. I busted into a 40-yard dash upstream.
I mean, he could have beat Usain Bolt.
Yeah,
Could have. I don't.
I mean, I didn't know it was
That's
happening.
got to be a shaky video because
Yeah.
Pete's like, not again.
Yeah, all I know is I hooked something and everyone's just running for the hills.
And then the Tanner goes, I think I hooked you. I said, oh, thank God.
I mean, granted, you were in the casting lane,
That's fine.
but it made for a funny.
That was that was probably one of the highlight moments of the day.
We had a lot of. I think there was more funny moments than hookups today.
I don't know. Tripp sat there and wore out the rainbows.
Yeah. Whatever.
But you guys please go check out the video, and then
Tanner wore out the fly box.
Dude. And the tippet spool.
yeah.
Today's fishing excursion was not a representation of our guide service. This was just to have fun.
So just recommend just ask
for Tripp, not me. Ask for Tripp.
I'll fish with Tanner again.
Yeah.
I'll fish.
Me and him had a grand old time tying on flies. That's for
we
sure.
did.
You got the best catch of the day right
I
here.
know.
Oh Lord. No, I can't thank you guys enough for taking the time today and spending it with us, and showing us around your area, showing us your shop, talking to us a little bit about it.
Beautiful. We learned a ton.
Thank y'all,
Absolutely,
man.
dude. We had an absolute blast for y'all today.
Yeah.
I mean, we were on our hands and knees, dying, laughing, catching some pretty cool fish. I mean, even last night was a trip. I mean, it was a grand time. We really appreciate y'all coming here and taking the time.
What I really loved the most was these guys. They really get the idea. When I first started guiding, it was I was very results driven because I was a tournament fisherman.
Yeah.
And it took me a while to realize that what people are paying for is an experience. They're doing this to have fun.
Absolutely.
You're fly fishing because it's fun. Nobody walks into a fly shop because they got to have any of this stuff. They're all coming in because it makes them happy. And so the experience we had today, we learned a ton. We laughed an insane amount
Oh, my
today.
gosh.
And it was and these guys, they get it. They get the fact that they're not just selling the act of catching a fish.
Yeah.
They're selling a great experience. And they're doing a good job.
Yeah. I mean,
Big thank you to y'all for taking the shot on two 21-year-olds and letting us take
drag you around the mountains.
I mean, the brands that y'all represent, we're obviously massive fans of. R.L. Winston. We both have several rods now.
Yep.
After
Shout out.
kind of building a relationship with you, and then shout out for our coffee.
This saved us. If the
be-
camera can zoom in here, this saved us this morning because we
That
were
was,
struggling.
It was that's a fact. I tell you what's also going to be good. It's going to be good to see TFO in there. That way you've got high quality rods for people of every price point they want to be at.
We're working on it. We're not going to do any selling during the podcast now.
I'm just saying I appreciate it.
No, so anybody wants to check you guys out,
Yeah.
Instagram.
Yeah, you
website,
can
throw it out
go
there.
to our Instagram handle is 828.flies. You'll see all of our ugly mugs up on that page. You can go to 828flies.com for our website. You can see all the cool stuff we got. And if you ever just want to stop by the shop, I'll give you our address right now. It's 133 Shelby Street, Banner Elk, North Carolina.
And also, if y'all ever have questions, feel free to shoot a DM to our Instagram page.
Yeah.
We have people ask questions all the time. As well as the shop, call the shop. If you're on the water and you say, man, I've thrown the whole book at them. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. If you got reception, give us a ring. We'd be more than
If you
glad.
got reception.
If you
If
got
you got
reception.
reception.
And truthfully, call us about any really freshwater related, and sometimes salt, sometimes. Any question, whether it's North Carolina or Georgia or all the way out in Montana or Idaho. I mean, all of our guys have experience pretty much in most of the lower 48 states, and trout fishing. That's what we know. We can help you get set up. So if you guys like our stuff, we're able to outfit anybody anywhere. So.
But yeah,
Awesome.
we're here to serve and grow the community. Is kind of what we stand behind here at this shop. However we can make the community a better place, we're all about it. So like I said, you're not interrupting anybody's dinner here, so feel free to give us a ring, pop by the shop. You can personally DM us on Instagram if you want. I give my phone number out to probably way too many people, but I love to answer just any questions
Just
about
talk fishing.
I mean, Peter will tell you, we talk for hours on the phone. We start with one thing, and 3 hours later, we're talking about smallmouth fishing or fishing for reds in Alabama. I mean, so yeah, definitely feel free to, if you got any questions at all, give us a ring or shoot one of us a message for sure.
Absolutely.
Perfect. All right. So if you guys are listening, I gotta do the outro. I gotta remember everything I gotta tell people to do.
You're doing great.
So go check out 828. Stop by the shop. If you are listening on Spotify, Apple, any of that stuff, leave me a 5-star review. It'd be fantastic. Share this with your friends. If you don't like it, share it with your enemies. If you're watching on YouTube, hit like, hit subscribe. Same thing. Share it with your friends and or your enemies. I just figure, like, if you don't like it, like, send it to somebody you don't like and be like, hey, I still don't like you, but you should watch this because I didn't like it and I don't like you.
Yeah. I mean,
makes sense, right? It's good logic.
Yeah.
All right. We have to drive.
Far.
Yeah.
Nah, not that far.
Far enough.
Oh, you're in windy mountain roads, so
we got to go drive windy mountain roads in the dark. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
An hour and a half?
Hour and a half.
We're going 15 miles.
Yep.
Probably going.
Welcome to Western North Carolina.
That's
All right. Thank you, guys.